14 in series with VODS yesterday. So far, we cannot tell exactly the power that she holds. However, Xiaohao seems to prioritize her pretty highly. Now, things that pair up really well with, of course, Lilia, our AD mid laners. The most prominent one is Lucian and will be taken away by WE.
So, K'Sante, Lucian, both very high priority picks, both safe as well to go for those lock-ins. You mentioned Xiaoxu's Jax, his Renekton, these sort of carries. I'm always loath to call Renekton a carry because he doesn't feel like he functions in the way that like a Jax and Camille do, but definitely can be a carry in the early game. But Leona locked in for Jwei, and a Corki comes through for Vicla.
Again, a little bit touched there on the Corki as well. His HP bar took a little bit of a cut. But so far, it feels like nothing has changed. Nothing apart from the 5 AD carry bans we're seeing on the top of our screens. Brand, Lilia, Zara still prioritized. AD mid lane still prioritized. Leona, one of the strongest supports as well. And the K'Sante on the top of the map. Now, there has not been an AD carry picked for neither team. We could potentially see a Lucian shifted towards the bottom map, which hasn't happened in quite a while. However, there's still the pairing with Milio who got buffed. You've got Nami as well, if they want to give that to the hands of Abel and if the AD carry pool is pinched that hard. However, for me, I'm looking at things like Ziggs, particularly for the side of RA, because it pairs up so well with things like the Leona.
Definitely things like the Jhin still open and available as well, and when you've got carries in jungle and mid, a Jhin can certainly be that utility tool, you know, similarly to what we've seen from Ashe across the splits. I do wonder, because, you know, Mark, you mentioned Lucian potentially being a flex for Abel here. Mark is a player that's played a lot of that Lucian Nami, a lot of Lucian Milio as well back on previous teams. Mark has definitely been on that Enchanter role alongside Jacula for a good while. So,
all right, ban them all out. Ban them all. We've got how many, Munch? 4? 7? 7 AD carry bans.
7 so far, plus a support ban. I'm counting that as a bot lane ban. So
right.
on 8 bot lane bans. And maybe that was a ban on Sejuani as a flex support, so we just said 10 bot lane bans. Okay, 9. We get 9 bot lane bans with 7 AD carries and 2 supports.
All right, let's see here. This is pretty much going to give kind of an answer, unless you want to go for a support here. Rel, another very prominent support that you can play if you want to play for that heavy engage. Kai'Sa is the only AD carry left open in the pool. However, I feel like RA left this open on purpose. Assum, he's played the Ziggs before, pairs up so well together with Lilia. I'm expecting to see some sort of wombo combo coming out of the RA bot lane.
If he'd actually gone for the Samira then into Abel, that would have been just too good. It would have been too good. But no, the Jhin comes up through from Assum. This is something Assum has played. This is something that has been successful for RA. And we're going to go back to that top lane sort of Skarner counter that we saw earlier on in the split. We've seen it a little bit versus the K'Sante as well. Xiaoxu, though, big carry in that top side.
Yeah, the 369 special. When Skarner was unbeatable, the man himself brought out the Mordekaiser. And it's like, yeah, okay, we don't have to beat him. We just have to remove him from a fight. And the same thing happens for K'Sante right here. And actually, any champion that gets to be fed on the side of WE, Xiaoxu, even if he's not strong enough, can sacrifice himself to just take them out of the fight. The one that springs to mind right now, looking at Team WE, is that Brand. You take Brand out of the fight. There's no AoE, there's no slow spreading across all members of RA. However, for both of the supports right here, it's going to be a pretty tough task to choose and find their targets. Super long range from the side of RA, and you've got a Jhin that wants to set up all the fights. And for WE, they've got more of an all-in composition. However, again, they have to be very wary of where that Mordekaiser is at all times.
Need to turn things around. They've had some incredible series this year. They're in their home arena of Xi'an. Let's see if it's enough to turn things around. So, we're onto the Rift. The games are underway. And despite the patch, we still have Lilia versus Brand as our jungle matchup to start us off.
It's like nothing has changed.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like there was a big patch, does it?
The only thing that did change, and I'm very curious to see.
The fact that he slipped that bar game in there, and it looked fantastic. I feel like Jwei's got more in the tank. I feel like he's got more pocket picks available. I feel like this guy, maybe in an enchanter meta, maybe in a support meta where you do have a little bit more skill expression than just the hard engage champs, like things like the Bard can be played. I mean, back in 2020, we had plenty of Bard. Maybe that's where Jwei could really shine.
Bard and Pyke are the two supports that seem super interesting to watch in terms of how they facilitate them up. As we're going straight into game RA versus Team WE. We're finally in. Team WE bundling up as a trio. Trying to pressure for some vision right there. And this time around, we're sticking it, guys. We're actually in game. It's happening. Let's see. My bad, by the way. I said that he has the Nautilus. He doesn't. He has the Leona for the side of Jwei. It's Mark this time around on the Nautilus.
To be honest, it's an easy switcheroo to make in your head, isn't it? They're not that dissimilar champions. As Xiaohao gonna go for quite a late invade here, but Yanxiang knew he was coming, and Wayward's here too. Xiaohao has made a terrible mistake to start the game off. He's solo, flashed and slowed by Wayward. The Q3 doesn't quite reach. Xiaohao will get out with his life, but only just.
Now here's the fun part. Brand's one of those champions that really loves invading. Xiaohao, not only does he slow down his clear speed by losing so much time on that invade, he's lost his flash as well. Yanxiang, even though we said, hey, we'd like to see him on more facilitating picks, he's got so much carry potential in his team. It's actually Wayward this time around, taking the back step, playing towards that Cassandra. Yanxiang being put in a position to be able to carry right here. You'll see he'll clear through the tops of the map, but they do have complete vision while he is in his top red quadrant. So for the time being, we won't have any invading shenanigans right here. However, for the invading shenanigans to happen, you do need to have a little bit of pressure as well. And as you can see, Assum and Jwei are making sure that the bot side of the map is completely pressured just in case, so they can actually aid their jungler if he does get invaded towards the bot side.
Inside to kind of see the power of the Mordekaiser on the top of your screen as well here, or in the top lane on your screen, as winning the trades while being a level down, or at least going even in the trades.
Hold up.
Podcon to Assum, he's getting pretty chunked down in this bottom side.
I am not sure how Mark threads the needle on a Nautilus Q through 9 creeps that were crashing underneath the tower. Props to Mark right there for actually finding the... I want to say finding the mark, but that would be one too many puns, so I'll take them all back. For finding Jin with the Q. The Tribush ward is going to go down as well. Yanxiang might be looking for an invade straight after this one, but I feel like it's a little bit too late for the time being. They might just fight to contest for the Scuttle Crab. Now, Assum and Jwei have complete priority towards the bot side. If they need to walk upriver, Yanxiang is just going to smite it away. No problems there.
So we'll grab the crab. Xiaohao managed to catch up in the jungle. Fair play, you know, the Lilia pretty quick on the old clear. Both of them skipped their final camp to try and go towards that crab, but it was Yanxiang that managed to get there just in time. And luckily for him, the crab was on the top side of the river. If the crab is closer towards Tribush there, maybe that goes the way of Xiaohao. Maybe that's not an easy take for Yanxiang. So a little fortunate there, finishes his Gromp and will finish his recall as well. So both junglers resetting at pretty much exactly the same time. That top crab, though, is available, and there are pings on both sides.
You see, though, Yanxiang, though, has the Fated Ashes in the inventory. The extra gold coming from the Scuttle Crab right there, and shows him a complete component, if you will, which will speed up his clear a little bit further. Yeah. Now, Yanxiang is going to prioritize chickens. Yes.
He's on an odd number of CS. Which mini chicken or crook did he miss? He must have missed one. Oh, Xiaohao does get the Scuttle Crab. He smited for it, but it was left on like 30 HP, I'm pretty sure, after the smite. So perhaps a little lucky to grab that one in the end, but does grab it. So that will even us up in terms of the CS numbers. Another hook in the bottom side. Trades across the board. It feels like a bit of a tense early game, and to be honest, rightly so. Again, RA playing for seeding. WE still have not qualified for those Knights games for their chance to make it into playoffs.
And then looking to do it right here versus RA. Again, for RA, they're fighting for that first spot. OMG, still undefeated, but guess what? The last game of that group stage is RA versus OMG. So they might have their chance to turn this around if they just keep win streaking right here versus Team WE. Talking about them, Yansheng is looking potentially for a wrap around that mid lane. Xiaohao is close, but not close enough, and Vicla doesn't have a lot of mana.
Attempt in the mid lane. Valkyrie tried to predict the flash, I think, with the Q there. But Yansheng will not find the stun onto Vicla. Doesn't have to use the summoner. Will be able to head back to base. Has his TP as well, so shouldn't lose too much. And FoFo acknowledging that will also just go for that recall. But Xiaohao, off the back of all of this, will have an opportunity to go onto those grubs on the top side. We'll see if Yansheng is going to answer with the Drake here, but his bot lane reset, so not sure if he'll necessarily get the opportunity.
More importantly, he's made it through that early game. That was a disastrous level 1. He lost a bunch of tempo, he was slower in his jungle. He lost his flash, which meant that he was susceptible to dying if Yansheng actually walked inside his jungle. But great pressure as Wayward will yoink the last one right there. Great stuff from W, top laner. Yeah, as you can see, Xiaohao is more than happy to have made it 6 minutes into this game without dying. With how south that level 1 went, and I feel like right now he's pretty much on track with the brand. You can see grabbing the 2 void grabs as well. They are looking towards that bot side to potentially even go for a dragon after the next clear.
He's hoping to go for that Drake. Not willing to start it up just yet though. And Xiaohao is in the bottom side of the map as well, currently on his Krugs. So Yansheng going to move up to the top side. And it's been a quiet one. It's been a quiet one, but we said before, WE pretty happy with a quiet one. Vicla spots the chickens, doesn't even shoot a cursory rocket. I would have expected at least an attempt there. Xiaoxu forced a flash to the top side by Wayward as well. This is a good lane from Wayward so far. 10 CS up on the K'Sante.
10 CS up, gets a dip into river, grab the void grab away from Xiaohao. Yansheng's job is to make sure that he secures potentially 2 or 3. If he does want to secure 3, that means you've got pressure through that side lane. Having the Lucian in the side lane with 4 void grabs, you could definitely start taking structures down super quickly. But Xiaohao, once again, on the offense right here, seems to be the case for the jungler of RA, trying to push the rookie jungler of WE out of his jungle. Jwei has already made his way towards the tops of the map, which means Yansheng has to forfeit a part of his jungle.
So Yansheng immediately pings onto that Drake. He's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to concede this. Vicla's moving. Jwei is moving. I'm going to go to the Drake instead. Able and Mark here to start it off. So well played by Yansheng just to accept the react. Like, we see a lot of junglers that contest those, that they fight for that red buff there and end up losing out. Good to see Yansheng acknowledging the fact that the red buff is in fact lost and going for an objective elsewhere instead. Good little trade there from WE. I'd say worth it for a red buff. Xiaohao at least punishing though and grabbing that red buff since he already got the grubs earlier, or at least got 2 of them.
They're invading his jungle though right now. There's 3 members of RA inside the jungle, and it's getting very dangerous for Yansheng to walk in. He has absolutely no vision. FoFo quite low on mana as well. Let's see if WE will choose to contest that.
Curtain call comes in. Yansheng flashed upon Solar Flare down and punished. RA have come in and they have a target on Yansheng's head.
There was absolutely no setup right here for Team WE. They were walking completely blind into this jungle. Xiaohao has been playing so aggressively, even since level 1, even when he lost his flash, trying to put pressure onto the rookie of Team WE, no. And it's been working so far. Oh,
that's his flash as well. Oh god, it's all gone a little bit pear-shaped for Xiaohao there. That was like 10 HP on the Grump as well on the smite.
That was double disaster striking in just about, what, 2 seconds? The Grump resetting into him losing his flash yet again in this game.
Yep.
It's going to be back-to-back within 10 minutes. We've lost our flash twice,
but it's fine. Him invading the enemy jungle as well. Oh dear.
Well,
I mean,
this time it was a little bit safer, right?
He's had a fantastic game in terms of putting pressure on Yansheng, and you can see that RA have gone, look, WE, when things don't go normally, when they're put under pressure, they struggle. So let's put Yansheng under pressure. Unfortunately, Xiaohao just slightly misreading the aggro reset on the Grump.
Yeah, and again, as we talked about, WE, all of their weight falls onto Mark. You are literally the only engage for WE. The one person that you choose to engage on, and whether the follow-up comes through for Team WE falls on your shoulders. So support for WE is going to have a lot of a big role to play in the fights to come. Talking about fights to come, we see that the entirety of Team WE except Wayward. Oh no.
Oh, he's going to get flashed after. Assum got caught by the stun from the W. Wayward's going to go for the dive. Q3, can it land? No! Good sidestep for an Assum and finds the root as well. Fourth shot lands and Assum finds a solo kill.
Who said Cassante could 1v1 80 carries like this? He cannot. Assum with a great sidestep. Had he not sidestepped that Q3, he would most certainly be dead. Overextended right there. However, remember the grubs we're talking about that WE would definitely want to be contesting. That one grub that Wayward took away from Xiaohao has now solidified this full buff from the void grubs. And as you can see, Assum walks a little bit too far forward. He's trying to clear the wave. Very easy, especially when you've got static shift as well. You just grenade the wave and it dies. However, here, Wayward, even though one level up, he just has to hit that Q3 and Assum dodges it, hits the root, and then the fourth shot solidifies the kill.
Beautiful stuff from Assum. This is a pick that...
He's 2-0.
I mean, yeah, he's played Jin 5 times this split. This will be his 6th game. He's on a 60% win rate. He's on 11 KDA over the split as well. I know KDA is not everything, but it does feel good to see a good number, especially on a team that have had their struggles. FoFo's having his struggles right now underneath the tower as Jwei gets the CC chain and Xiaohao sweeps up another kill. R8 dominated WE.
That was a great dance back and forth on the Lilia sleep into Jwei and engaging and not breaking the sleep until the CC landed.
This Grump is invincible. This Grump just cannot die to smites. That's 2 in a row.
He's the real boss of the Rift so far. Has baited 2 junglers, well, 1 jungler rather. Xiao has been baited twice to try and take it down. I think this is his last time, you know. It's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We'll see if he's gonna go again for it.
The Mafia boss Grump, you come into his jungle on the day of his Krug's wedding. I'll tell you what though, here's an idea, Riot. Grump skins, eh? Jungle skins. Let me have the Mafia jungle that I can take down. Let me have the, I don't know, Star Guardian enemy jungle. Yeah, you know Swarm, the Primordials, is it, or something? The baddies in Swarm. Why can't we have a skin to buy that changes what all the jungle creeps look like? Like,
I'm down for Underground Grump.
If they're funny, I'd go for it. You know, definitely not jungle camps. They're all in the goggles and all of that.
This Grump is like the meme that says this guy walks into a bar and slaps your friend. Uh-oh, Mark is slapping Jwei. And he's down.
Yeah, remember when we were talking about Jwei earlier about his strengths and weaknesses, how sometimes he goes a little far trying to get vision and whatnot? Yeah, that's one of those moments.
Come on, man, he didn't go that far.
No, but anyway.
He stayed into proximity.
The key thing is he went into enemy territory, right? He went into that river when he did not have support with Xiaohao up in the top side. And Yanxiang will be rewarded with a Drake off the back of it.
Mark losing his flash and ignite for this play, of course, has resulted in a dragon, as you mentioned, and a kill, one that is very much needed onto that Kaisa. Vicla.
Bit of revenge for what happened to FoFo in the bottom side. It doesn't really work out for WE in the way that it did for RA, though. Unfortunately, not able to make that kill happen. A couple of attempts have gone towards Vicla this game. They made the attempt in the mid lane, now an attempt in the bottom side. None of them really working out.
He's so cold-blooded. The fact that so many projectiles just fly his way, and he's just so cold, but he either dodges them or he just keeps moving straight. You know how they say the best dodge is when you don't dodge? That's exactly what Vicla is doing right here. Talking about Vicla in RA, he's now TP'd towards the top side of the map. He's completely evaded that bot side. They've grabbed the Rift Herald. They could be ready to possibly pop it towards the top side of the map. Rift Herald is actually one of the strongest tools to use to open that mid lane tower. And looking at how short range Brand, Lucian, and Kaisa are, taking that mid lane tier 1 could potentially result in a lot of kills. Now, WE, same gang as before, but now there's a different member down the bot side of the map, Xiaoxu. A little bit more safe in terms of tower diving.
Xiaoxu should be able to clear this wave. It's really hard to dive a Mordekaiser, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
The second you're targeted by the tower, you just know you're going to get ulted. Or worst case, he just ults Mark, right? 1v1s him under the tower while the rest of the team has to accept that they can't do anything. So they decide to call off the dive, and I feel like it's been a couple of plays from WE that have been called off so far. The positive plays have been reactionary, right? They've been punishing mistakes from RA, but RA have very much been in control of the pace of this game so far.
I am very, very surprised to see Abel go towards the Kraken Slayer build in this particular game. I don't think there is enough tanks on the side of RA to force you to go towards more of a on-hit build onto Kai'Sa, and I feel like a lot of the poke that he'd be able to land together with Brand could be extremely, extremely useful. Plus the static shift that helps you push out lanes so much faster when you've got things like Corki, like Jin with static shift that get to push lanes so fast. We'll see if Abel can get a lot of value out of his Kraken Slayer, but yeah, this is the one question mark that I have in terms of the Kai'Sa. I feel like the AP Kai'Sa, so the mix attack speed into AP is so damn broken, especially into that late game. When you hit that Nashers, when you hit that third item, you start building AP, it gets so obnoxious when one W lands. You just wish it didn't.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he still goes for that build off of the back of Kraken Slayer. We have seen that a little bit where, I mean, I agree. I think Shiv for the wave clear would be good, but maybe just conceding the fact that you're against a Jin, you're not going to win pushing the mid lane against his static Shiv, so maybe just going for a little bit more damage than the static Shiv gives. Herald in the mid lane and a solar flare as well. Lilting Lullaby onto 2. Great play from RA. They pull the trigger and they snap WE in half. Oh, the root comes through. No follow-up from the rest of the team. Wayward moving over with FoFo. Don't know if WE even win this.
Calling from FoFo just to push them a little bit further back, and RA so decisive. We said earlier on, hey, that Rift Herald is a really great tool to break that mid lane tier 1, and WE are extremely short range when it comes to their carries. They do not have that static shift to push through range with the Kai'Sa, which means they're gonna have to overextend the mid lane, take that tower down, and then RA are gonna have constant pressure on the map right now. WE are gonna have to lit up a lot of dark areas if they want to walk through that mid lane safe.
I mean, just when you look at the gold numbers in the scoreboard down at the bottom there, 1,200 for Assum, 1,600 for Xiaohao, even a 700 gold lead in the mid lane for Vicla as well. I mean, it's just been comfortable, hasn't it, for RA in this early game? The aggression from Xiaohao, forced to flash a couple of times in that jungle, but ultimately never went down, so it doesn't matter too much as long as his flash is back up for those fights, and we saw him getting a 2-man lullaby there alongside that Herald play. He's now got 6 stacks on a Dark Seal as well as the Seeker's Arm Guard. I mean, we can take another look at this Herald play as WE, I think, really overstepping to contest.
Yeah, they walk a little bit too far up. I think they underestimate the damage that was coming through by that Rift Herald, and RA were even willing to pull down DPs and team up as a 5-man unit in that mid lane, and Yanxiang has overstepped a few too many times right now too, to be specific. Walks up to try and do the damage, and that's again the soul range scenario that we're talking about when we're looking at Team WE. You see that Kai'Sa now has to walk a little bit too far up. Look where Jwei is positioned right here. Abel could be in a lot of trouble. However, RA are just looking for the push down mid lane to try and contest for that dragon, because it's going to be sole point for Team WE.
Perhaps the win condition for them. Mountain Soul would certainly make Wayward an absolute menace. And Xiang going to be put to sleep here. Jwei follows up with a solar flare. Curtain Call comes through. Mark has to tank everything for his jungler, but his jungler's fallen, and so has he. FoFo tried to escape with a 4th shot, obliterates him. And suddenly, WE are pushed against the ropes. RA find another fight. They find a bonus on the back of it. They get themselves a Drake, potentially, and they can even move towards towers.
But this game has evolved into bully the new guy kind of game. Yanxiang is the primary target from RA. Xiaohao hits his spell only onto Yanxiang, yet he still pulls the trigger. Look at that here. It hits only Yanxiang and he still goes. The solar flare follows. You see the curtain call instantly open. Jwei dives in. Everyone on top of this Brand. You know, Brand can be very dangerous when you are just running into him, and he gets to have his full combo. However, Yanxiang, he's not even allowed, not even his full combo, not even 2 spells. He is instantly focused on by every single member of RA, and this shows a lot the resolve from RA as well, and the way they like to play through the team fights. When they go, they all go.
It does feel fantastic to watch RA when they're playing well, doesn't it? They have really snowballed this lead for themselves. It feels like they've challenged WE every time WE have tried to contest something. And I just love that Jwei and Xiaohao are clearly just completely linked at the hip at this point. Like, the way that these two players are working together. Xiaohao finds a swirl seed, sets the sleep up, the solar flare comes in immediately. Jwei dives into the action once they found a good target. And it means Assum can just open all 4 barrels, you know, just blast that curtain call into the mix. Vicla launching his rockets as well. And in the meantime, Xiaoxu just denies any kind of flank play from anyone like Wayward or anyone like FoFo because he's Mordekaiser. What are you going to do?
And now it's becoming a little bit scary. Because once you take Wayward out of the equation, the only front line for Team WE is Mark on this Nautilus, level 9 into level 13 triple carry composition on the set of RA. And not to mention that all of them are about 1.6 to 2k up on their counterpart. So definitely, even when Mark steps up and tries to make a play, tries to find a target, he will be isolated and taken down pretty quickly. Now, Team WE need to start getting some of those shutdowns. If you could potentially catch Assum or Xiaohao or Vicla, potentially in the side lane, you could be looking towards Vicla, doesn't have his TP, and get those bounties off of their head. You could start feeding some gold into your very, very starving carries here. However, if you are trying to fight RA in a straight up 4v4, 5 vs 5, it's not necessarily going to work in WE's advantage.
Definitely not. They need to get creative now. I don't necessarily feel like this is a composition that has lots of avenues to play creatively. Perhaps they could play through Fog of War. They've got a lot of burst damage. If they can find a good target, that's an opportunity for them. But I don't know, this even if you like, it's going to be Jwei face checking, right? He's pretty damn tanky. You're going to struggle to find a pick, and in the meantime, RA are just doing the Baron. Mark wants to move up and try and get vision. Jwei happy to just go toe-to-toe with him. Yanxiang knows that he has to try and step up. He knows something's going on, but it's just not happening for WE. And they don't even play opposite. They don't even get a tower bot. They just sort of try and vaguely attempt to contest, but just the Baron goes down and nothing happens.
I feel it all comes down to Wayward potentially finding a flank. Now, for you to find a flank TP, there needs to be some sort of vision, a trap, anything that he can TP on. WE cannot advance. Oh no, Yanxiang.
Yeah, that's not the most respectful positioning I've ever seen. It's a big fourth shot, but Jwei might burn to a crisp and Yanxiang survive. Abel now being chased down, but he takes a kill, and suddenly WE winning a fight, although it's gone 2 for 2, and a rocket from Vicla turns it into the hat-trick. RA now in a 3v1 against Cassante, and I favour Cassante in all of those situations, but Wayward, oh, another route onto him. I swear Assum has destroyed Wayward this game twice now. He finds those routes, and twice it turns into a kill.
This has been the closest WE have come to winning a team fight, and that's because RA overextend. They see target, they want to kill target, they get excited because they caught Yanxiang once again. However, this time around, the rookie jungler for WE had a stopwatch. He had a arm guard in his inventory. Used that, baits RA a little bit too far forward. The solar flare, that was heat-seeking right there. Straight down the middle. They get the fourth shot as well onto Yanxiang. And as you can see, they're a little bit too far spread. Jwei's a little bit too far forward. He gets bursted down. Xiaohao, the same, has to blast through the wall. So it was a little bit of a messy fight coming through from RA and WE. Managed to pick up 2 kills. Unfortunately, none of the kills that they managed to pick up had any bounties. So it will be just the raw gold that you get from grabbing a kill for Team W. But I think at this point, you just take whatever you can get. And Wayward, he's so sick of this Jhin already, man. You know what? 980 carry bans in the previous, in this game. We'll have 10 on the next one.
Assum very happy with the bans that went down because it looks like he is very comfortable on this Jin. Fair play to Abel, I just want to quickly mention as well, did win out his 1v1 against Xiaoxu in the death realm. Vicla attacked again, but he just obliterates. FoFo goes 1 for 1 and Yanxiang chunked as well. Xiaoxu, can he get close enough? Death realm is available. Doesn't have the rocket belt though, doesn't have flash, can't finish anything off, and now a dive to the bottom side as well as Wayward dives forward to get onto Jwei, but he just doesn't have the damage. Assum low, but Abel, one shot by the fourth shot. Assum escapes with a flash, dodges the Q3, finds another. It's glorious from RA, and now the curtain call onto Yanxiang. The slow is there, another slow, bit of CC, and the fourth shot dodged by Seeker's arm guard, unfortunately rooted, burned, and sent to sleep in more ways than one. No, the swell seed goes sideways. Yanxiang survives. Oh no, he does. Oh God! Oh. My heart can't take this.
RA as a 4-man unit pushing down the last 3 remaining towers of WE's base, and I have to raise my apology to Assum, to Mazel, to anyone that I aggravated by saying I hate Jin. I don't like the champion. He's not flashy enough. Assum shut me straight up right here. What a magnificent performance on the champion. He has been absolutely tearing it apart since the very early stages. 1v1 in the Cassante, putting down all the damage. Now, this might not be a flashy champ in general, but Jin against squishy champions is such a pleasure to watch. And I want to use this particular fight as an example. Watch what happens when Abel steps up to this Jin. He gets 2 shots.
Yeah, first auto was the second to last, and then the fourth shot was in the chamber. Yeah, I think that was through the shield as well. That was through Abel's shield from his killer instinct. It just annihilated him. Assum feeling pretty strong. I think he's on like 3.5 items or something, maybe even 4. And it's 27 minutes into the game. It's over a 10,000 gold lead, and Jwei knows it as he just walks forward. He's like, come on, let's just finish the job. Straight towards WE. Abel, how fancy are your feet today? Not fancy enough. Not fancy enough to just survive the burn. As now they move towards the mid lane as well.
RA, what a decisive game for game 1. We said they wanted to fight for the first spot versus OMG, and Yanxiang getting caught once again. Doesn't have the hourglass, doesn't even get to use it, and FoFo left all alone as the flash away. Assum trying to get a last kill, doesn't have the flash available, and 5 members are just marching down the base.
What a game for RA. What a confidence game for this team. They are on a 3-series win streak right now. They are looking to contest for first seed in the group, and with performances like this, they are well and truly on track to contest that. A couple of moments where they perhaps went slightly too far, but honestly, when you're winning like that, I think it's good to have confidence plays. I think it's good to try it on. That's what all the top teams do. You know, BLG, top esports, these are teams that they'll try it on when the enemy is behind them. They'll try and just take fights and outhands people, and RA very much following in that kind of mentality.
I feel like they see the rookie on the side of Team WE. They're like, wait, this guy is usually playing the Sejuanis and the tanks in the jungle. Right now, he's on a carry. Well, this is Xiaohao's bread and butter to play the carry. So he took the heat straight onto a brand, and he miraculously won.
Yeah, it was a
Pun
fantastic...
intended.
Yeah, literally. Fantastic game here for RA. We're going to jump into a break and then head into game number 2 and see if RA can continue